And I think we often forget that life is a journey. And we say it, actually, we say it, but we don't act like it. And we don't recognize that it's meant to be experienced very deeply. And one thing I don't think we've done very well, and I've gotten much better as I've gotten on in my life, and let's use the word age, that there's all sorts of things around us that we're not listening to. And one thing I'd say about me personally is I have learned to be a listener and a noticer. I notice what people are doing, how they're being, how organizations are acting. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my journey that led me to where I am today in this shift, yet another shift in my life. And I have had some shifts. I started my life as a lawyer, committed, confident that that was what I was supposed to be. And 17 years later, I realized I hated it. I realized I had picked a profession, invested in a profession, committed to education and everything. I had my own firm at the time. I was on top of the world of success. I was living the dream. Everybody wanted to be me, except me, except me. And I just saw you smiling, Catherine, because you know this journey. Um, so I made a pivot. I mean, actually, it wasn't a pivot. I leapt off the cliff. I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And it freaked everyone out. My friends couldn't believe it. My family couldn't believe it. My, at the time, wife couldn't believe it. She finally confided in me that she was freaked out, and no one could understand why I would leave success to go into the unknown. And the reason was simple. I had a crappy definition of success. And it was about prestige, and it was about financial success, and it was about how the world saw me as a big deal. And I had all of that, and yet I was miserable. And part of the important point here is I didn't realize I was miserable. The greatest gift I gave myself at that point in my life was if you had asked me at that time, was I miserable? I would have said, no, I'm just okay. And okay wasn't good enough for me. And I decided to leave okay in search of exceptional. But when I made the decision to leave okay, I realized I was actually miserable. And the big lesson I learned in that is, and I'll share it in the form of a question. How long can we live with okay? And the answer is forever. The answer is forever, because saying things are okay is an excuse to stay where you are. It gives me a rationalization. Say, I'm not miserable. And I look around and everybody just seems to be okay. And the people who say they're great, I don't really believe them, because I don't believe there can be greatness in life. I don't believe that we really can be fulfilled. I don't believe that can really have deep satisfaction in our work. And so people walk around, it's almost like the Walking Dead. And I was the Walking Dead. And the blessing is I didn't realize I was the Walking Dead, but I cared enough about myself to say, I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to go in search of exceptional. And boy, has it been a journey. And I have been bumped and bruised and broken. People look at me and say, Jeff, you've lived this fantasy life. And I said, you have no idea what this life has been. You have not been with me in the car accidents of life. You have not been with me in the dark times. I have grown through the dark times. You only see the result of the dark times. You don't see the dark times. And I think it's because people want to believe in the concept of luck. We'd rather believe in luck than putting not only a plan in place, but committing to developing ourselves and doing the hard work inside that will allow us to have the things we desire versus waiting for the world to give them to us.